good afternoon. Welcome to Virtual Spiritual Saturday Lunch Together-gether. Today will be our last episode of this live streaming, and we will soon restart our Spiritual Saturday program in KFR. So welcome everybody to KFR. And today we have our special guest, really young and beautiful Beatrix, to cook for us.
Hello.
So you will be cooking?
So today I'll be cooking shakshuka, which is, it was one of Rinpoche's favorite dishes. And Rinpoche basically liked tomato-based dishes like pasta, spaghetti, shakshuka, or even when Rinpoche had omelette and all that, he would always ask for tomato sauce to be served on the side. So basically Rinpoche liked quite a lot of tomatoey stuff. So for the ingredients today, to make the shakshuka, we have, of course, olive oil. Then we have onion and garlic, finely chopped. And then we have this tomato sauce. It's actually pasta sauce. You can use any brand, but today we'll be using Prego. Then we have chopped bell pepper, or you can use sweet peppers. Then, of course, we have some seasoning. We have mixed herbs. Then we have chili powder, we have paprika, then we have also a bit of chili powder, what do you call that? Garlic, it's not garlic, the chili, dried chili. Dried chili, it's to add some spice. Then we have, of course, eggs. Then we have some bread to go with the sauce, to go with the dish later. Then we have some water as well, and some salt for seasoning. So to begin with, we will have to heat up the pan. Okay, so while we wait for the pan to heat up, I'm going to share with you a little story about my cooking journey with Rinpoche. So I joined Ladrang about 5-6 years ago. So when I first when I first came in, I just graduated high school. So it was Form 5. So during that time, I mean, I didn't have to cook at home because my mom did all the cooking and all that. So when I first joined in Ladrang, I sucked at cooking. It was really bad. And but Rinpoche was very kind. Rinpoche told me that I should never stop trying. I should continue and then basically learn how to cook so that in the future, at least I know how to cook. And it's basically to get out of our own comfort zone. So it started with a lot of very funny stories, like when I cook something for Rinpoche would say something very, it sounded mean, but it had another meaning. So Rinpoche would say something like, oh, your food sucks, something like that. And he would say, try better next time. But although Rinpoche said that he will actually eat your food, I mean, I have to say that it was bad. I mean, because we just learned and I mean, I just started cooking and all that. So it was bad. And then, but Rinpoche was very kind. Rinpoche actually ate my cooking. So eventually I had this motivation to basically want to better my cooking so that I don't serve bad food to Rinpoche. So eventually I started learning and all that, then gradually became better. So towards the last few years, I have been serving Rinpoche closely and cooking for Rinpoche as well. So today, this is why we are cooking shakshuka, because it was also one of Rinpoche's favorites. Okay, the pan is hot now, so we're gonna go in with some oil.
So you have at least 5 to 7 years cooking experience since graduated from high school.
Yeah, 5 to 6 years.
So Beatrix actually look young. Beatrix look young, but actually is a very experienced cook.
I don't look young.
Her cooking, we have many people cook for Rinpoche in Ladrang.
had Tibetan food. So Rinpoche used to joke with me and say that, oh, maybe you were a Tibetan in your previous life. That's why your Tibetan cooking is not so bad. Okay, now we have put in the garlic as well as onion. So we're going to fry it a bit until it's slightly brown. Now, when you see the garlic and the onion, when they're slightly brown, you can add in your tomato sauce. We're going to be using half a portion today. So go ahead and pour in half a portion. So talking about cooking, Rinpoche was actually very down to earth. So one of our last cooking sessions with Rinpoche was last year, I think maybe around May or June. So Rinpoche actually cooked all of us scrambled eggs, because Rinpoche had a very special way of making scrambled eggs. It was one of a kind. So Rinpoche also very often cooked for the Lajang staff as well as people around him. So although he was a Rinpoche, but Rinpoche was very humble and very loving, very kind. So one of our last cooking sessions with Rinpoche was we made scrambled eggs, and as well as it was French toast. Rinpoche's French toast was superb. It was super delicious. Okay, now we're going to add in some water.
I heard from Pastor Nina that the French toast was very rich with butter and milk.
Butter and egg.
Butter and egg.
Yeah, butter and egg. So basically, it was many layers of eggs with bread. So it's basically not French toast anymore. It's basically egg with bread. So it was a very thick layer of egg as well as butter. Then we would serve it with either maple syrup or honey. So I mean, now when I think back, it was very fun, because Rinpoche was very happy. Rinpoche was very excited. He was very excited to teach us how to cook and all that. So after that, we had we joked, and it was very nice. So of course, I mean, before that, it was also Rinpoche make us borscht soup, which is basically beetroot soup. It's a Russian dish, if I'm not mistaken.
Last week Pastor David cooked for us.
Yes. So yeah, that one, it was also one of Rinpoche's favorites. Then Rinpoche also cooked for us, and and after that we also ate together. We sat down with Rinpoche, and Rinpoche was telling us stories and all that. Now we're gonna make it boil a bit, and then we will add in the peppers and the other stuff. Now we are adding in the peppers. The peppers you can use whichever color you choose to use. Today we use 3 colors, which is red, orange, as well as yellow. But on a on normal day, you can use any pepper you choose to. So actually for us, the young people, Rinpoche actually, he want for us to do was to basically get out of our comfort zone and basically do what is good for us. So for example, if I didn't like cooking and I felt that it was much of a hassle and all that, Rinpoche would actually force, or he would actually ask me to do more cooking and all that, so that eventually it becomes something that you're used to and no longer afraid of, something like that. And I remember there was another young member in the Ladrang. So when she first joined, Rinpoche asked her to make fried onion rings. So it was very funny because she didn't cook. She didn't even cook at all. She never cooked before. So it was the first time. So she was very nervous and all that. So she went online to research and all that. And eventually she cooked. She managed to make the onion rings. So when she brought in her first batch of onion rings for Rinpoche to try, Rinpoche eventually said that, oh, it's not good enough. I mean, Rinpoche would say something like it sucks and it's not good, something like that. But Rinpoche said that Rinpoche would give her advice on how to improve her onion rings. But immediately after she left the room, Rinpoche would continue eating the onion ring and say that although it is not nice, but it is the effort, it is the amount of care she put into the food that made it so-called delicious. So for Rinpoche, it is not so much about the cooking. It is not so much whether if your food is nice or not. It is the effort, the amount of care, the amount of love you put into your food. So in order for the person who you serve to, who you serve your cooking to, for them to feel nice, for them to have good food basically. So it is the motivation, it is actually the effort that you put in that matters to Rinpoche. So back to that young person, so after she made a few batches, she eventually improved on her onion rings. Then Rinpoche kind of asked her to, okay fine, you kind of graduated your onion rings, it's graduated. Then Rinpoche asked her to cook something else. So, I mean, it was very fun. And also for Rinpoche has countless ideas of how to train people. I mean, they can be so creative that you won't even know that Rinpoche is training you.
Yeah, you won't even realize, and then when you realize, you'll be after.
Yeah, it'll be much after. You'll be like, oh, that's why Rinpoche did this. So Rinpoche is super creative.
Talking about your young chef, I remember Rinpoche one day he mentioned that, you know, this person the other day cooked one really salty black carpet for me to eat. And then after that I realized she cooked for the dinner, I think 1 week before, she cooked those black fungus.
Black fungus.
Yes. I think black fungus with some tofu or what for Rinpoche. And surprisingly, Rinpoche have eaten the food that she cooked. And because that person gave me some, yes, it's really not because the black fungus is still not softened and it's really hard. And then you bite, it will come from this side to the other side. But Rinpoche finished it because just like Beatrice mentioned, it's the effort that it counts, and Rinpoche want to have this person to gain some merits from her offering.
Yes.
Yeah, that is what matters. Okay, carpet.
Carpet. So cooking for Rinpoche was actually one of the ways of how Rinpoche observed that person's personality, that person's mental state of mind, or basically it's through cooking that Rinpoche kind of gauge that person, so that Rinpoche will know what do you call that? So that Rinpoche knows which way he can use to kind of train that person or get close to that person to help that person more. Okay, so now we're going to put in our seasoning, which is basically the mixed herbs, the paprika, then the chili powder, as well as dried chili. Dried chili is optional, so you can just put it in if you prefer your shakshuka a little bit more spicy.
Actually, Beatrice had cooked tentuk, right?
Yeah, tentuk.
Tibetan food tentuk during one of our spiritual Saturday activity. So maybe next time we have opportunity for Beatrice to cook some more Tibetan food for us.
Sure,
but
definitely.
When you come to Kechara, enjoy physically to come. Then you can taste the food and then learn from her cooking.
Why I decided to make this dish today, it was because I was looking through YouTube and suddenly this video it popped up. So this video was the exact video that Rinpoche showed to us when he actually wanted to eat shakshuka. So it was one day when Rinpoche was surfing on the net. Then Rinpoche came to this video, and it was a video of a guy making the shakshuka. That guy didn't use spaghetti sauce. He actually made it from scratch. So it was because of that video that Rinpoche started so-called craving for shakshuka. Then for about few weeks, we make shakshuka for Rinpoche almost every other day. And it came to a point where Rinpoche said, okay, no more shakshuka, too much. Then we kind of stopped. For Rinpoche is very funny because when Rinpoche likes a certain food, he will actually eat it for many, many times. He'll eat it every day, he'll eat it every other day, basically for many, many days, or even weeks. Then after that, then Rinpoche, when it comes to a time where Rinpoche kind of got bored, then Rinpoche said, okay, no more, then we try something else. So for Rinpoche, cooking for Rinpoche is actually quite easy because Rinpoche is actually not picky. We have many picky people.
Yes, especially in Kechara.
Yes. So for Rinpoche, it was very easy to cook for Rinpoche because Rinpoche ate everything. Basically, Rinpoche is he's not picky. He's very appreciative. So he's very appreciative of what we cooked for him. So basically, usually Rinpoche will eat everything. Or unless when he's not so hungry, then he will eat a portion and save another portion for maybe later, or he will share it with other people in the lajang. Okay, now we are putting in our spices. Now we're going to put in the eggs. So we have to lower down the heat. Okay, so for the eggs, I would suggest people to put in one at a time, because if you were to knock it in like this, then you wouldn't know if the egg is already rotten or what, because I have many bad experience where I just put the eggs in directly and the whole dish is ruined. So this egg is fine. Then we're going to go ahead and put in the egg. We will be cooking 3 eggs today. You can put in more if you want. Okay, now usually we will cover it and let it sit for about 5 minutes on low heat. Then after that it's ready to serve. But today we're gonna keep it on like this so that you can see. After this, we're basically pretty much done. You can either top it with some basil. It's optional. You can top it with basil, or you can even top it with goat cheese. I saw some recipes that they use goat cheese, but this is the one that how we cooked for Rinpoche. So we used to top it with some basil, and you can put some pepper as well, just for tasting. But this is usually how we served it. And also we will serve it with some bread. The bread is here. You can either toast it, or you can, if you prefer not to toast it, then you can just eat it neat.
You mean we will dip in?
Yeah, just dip in.
So normally the eggs you will keep it half cooked or 100% cooked?
It's usually about 60-70% cooked, so that when you cut into the egg yolk, it is still runny. That's if, of course, you prefer a much creamier sauce, because the egg yolk will make the sauce creamy. But if you prefer your egg to be fully cooked, of course you can just cook it so that cook it through so that it's not the egg yolk is not runny. Because for myself, I don't like egg yolk, so usually I'll cook it very boiled. I mean very cooked, so that the egg yolk is actually hard. Then I just remove the egg yolk. I'm just looking through the comments now to see who else is online with us. Kanun, hi Kanun, good afternoon. Hi Jillian. Hi Hannah. Oh, it's actually lunchtime now. I hope all of you have eaten or are eating now.
Oh, it's around 1 something.
Yeah.
Oh, Hannah must be like it.
You love eggs, huh, Hannah? Yeah, it's eggs.
Actually, this is very from ingredient and cooking. Actually, it's quite easy to prepare, and then the time for cooking also quite short. In half an hour, everything can be done.
Yep.
So actually, you can make this for your dinner even today, or tomorrow Sunday. You can cook for your family. I think kids will like this.
Yeah, kids will love it.
Yeah, because normally kids like tomato.
Yeah. But for kids, of course, you can omit the chili powder and all that, so that it's not spicy.
But some kids can eat quite spicy,
Yeah.
especially in Malaysia. They trained her up since young. I think this is easy. Maybe one day we'll ask Alice to cook for us.
Alice is rolling her eyes now.
Alice is our spiritual Saturday lunch together, and also book club Kechara woman. So why we say Alice? Because I remember Rinpoche, they asked her, "Can you cook?" So I think she was really honest. And then she said, "Yes, I can cook." Then Rinpoche asked, "What can you cook?" She said, "I can cook fried egg and Maggi mee, I think." So now this, I think this Shakshuka, she can learn and then cook. Then we can eat.
Usually Rinpoche was very straightforward. So he'll usually go up to a person and ask, can you cook? And if that person can't cook, then Rinpoche will get that person to start cooking. It's basically to train that person. Just to have an extra skill in life, so why not, right? Then, and to make sure that we don't escape it or be sneaky or, just be lazy, Rinpoche will sometimes say that, oh, after you cook it, bring it to me and I will eat it. So for people who are like not taking seriously, they will start to be very nervous, and then they will start to put in their heart into their cooking so that they don't serve Rinpoche like bad food. It is actually one of, Rinpoche did mention that cooking is actually one of the ways for people to show their love or show their care to a person. So different people express their care, express their love differently. So, but for some people, they express it through cooking. So if they like someone, for example, if they love Rinpoche, they will make sure that their food is very nice, is very healthy, it's not dirty or whatsoever, and make sure that the offering to Rinpoche is perfect. So that is also how Rinpoche gauged a person's mind. It is through their cooking. So last time, of course, in the Ladrang you have CCTVs and all that. It's basically for security reasons. So when you're cooking halfway, Rinpoche will observe you and see how you cook, see how you clean, see how you are nervous, not nervous, and all that. Or sometimes when Rinpoche is feeling a bit cheeky, Rinpoche will take up his walkie-talkie, and Rinpoche will scream through the walkie-talkie and say funny things. Just to ease you up a little, because some people, when they start cooking, they are very tense, and because it's their first time. So Rinpoche will bring up the walkie-talkie and just scream through the walkie and say all kinds of stuff, just to basically lift up the mood.
If you come to think about that, I think almost all Ladrang people can cook.
Yeah.
And I think those people under Rinpoche training, they will have multiplied skill, including cooking.
Basically, what Rinpoche wants for us is to multitask. Because at first, Rinpoche will kind of get us into something and make sure we complete it and make sure we put our focus onto it and complete it. After we have completed something, then Rinpoche will ask us to move on another thing. And then basically to improve ourselves further. So once you kind of complete or you graduated from the training, then you will realize, oh, I actually know how to do quite many things. For example, you can do cooking, you can do maybe gardening, you can do maybe teaching. Like for our pastors, our previous 3 pastors who did the lunch together, they are pastors, so they can cook, they can teach, they can write books, they can write articles, they can do pujas. It is basically to teach, is to train ourselves to multitask in order to, it's to basically equip ourselves with, not to say talents, but abilities to help other people.
Now we have Joey and Sharon coming in.
Hello, hi people. Hi Sharon.
Sharon is another chef that cook for Rinpoche.
Yes.
Yes, Rinpoche likes her food. She's a Baba Nyonya, so she cook quite some good dishes that Rinpoche like a lot. I remember her cabbage rice.
Rinpoche loved it. Rinpoche loved it to the point that Rinpoche asked her to cook to our, because we have Nepali boys working with us. So Rinpoche loved it so much that Rinpoche asked her to cook it for other people to try. Her cooking is superb. It's really nice. Okay, now that our eggs are pretty much done, now, okay, for this part you can either top it with basil, like I said, or you can put in goat cheese, you can put in ricotta cheese, basically just toppings. But today we are not going to what do you call that, top it with anything. Now you can turn off the fire and taste it. Salty enough. Because I forgot to put in the salt, but luckily it's salty enough. I can
cook. You want to eat this with this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna scoop it out first.
Yeah.
If for this one, if you because it's a bit sour, but usually you can put in some sugar to make it sweeter. But today I think we're gonna go with the healthy what do you call that? Healthy direction. Usually for rinpoche we will put in sugar because rinpoche doesn't like sour stuff. So usually we will put in some sugar to slightly sweeten it a bit.
There was someone make shakshuka with 2 eggs. People said that there is so little eggs. It's
Cheapskate.
yeah, so cheapskate.
Okay, so we're gonna clean up this mess later. So for this, I'll get tissue. Oops, oopsie. Okay, now your dish, your shakshuka is ready. So usually we will eat it with bread. And it's up to you whether if you want to break the egg yolk or not. But usually, I mean, if you watch on what do you call that? If you watch videos, they will usually break the egg yolk. Take a clean one. Let's see.
It's not too sour, but spicy enough.
Spicy enough?
Okay, we are waiting for Alice to cook for us.
It's actually quite nice.
Yeah, not bad. And then it's a very easy to make lunch or dinner.
One of the tips, sorry, allow me to chew. One of the tips to make your sauce sweeter is to actually you can put in some diced carrots.
Oh, yeah.
Then you don't have to put in sugar. Or for the peppers, you can choose those sweet peppers, the small ones, which is very sweet. You can use those. Then it will enhance the sweetness in the sauce. Yep.
Yeah, 3 eggs for me. I think we put more.
Yeah, Rinpoche did say that. What Sharon said, I remember that also. It was very funny. I mean, Rinpoche is usually very humorous because Rinpoche doesn't like us to be stingy. You know, Rinpoche is very generous. So even to cooking, Rinpoche, a person's stinginess can be shown through cooking. So it is because it's obvious. So usually for people who are stingy, then they cook a little bit on like for example this one you use 2 eggs or 1 egg. Then Rinpoche will make a remark, say that it's so stingy and something funny, basically like what Sharon mentioned. Then after that, for the people who cooked the dish, it is a mental note to yourself that okay, you have to what do you call that? You have to change this. So next time you have to improve from this so that Rinpoche doesn't. Okay, during that time you will. It's kind of like a challenge. So you want to challenge Rinpoche so that Rinpoche doesn't mention this to you anymore. So slowly, I mean, nobody likes to listen to bad remarks or bad comments. So when you start Rinpoche, for some people, when Rinpoche said bad remarks, Rinpoche give bad remarks or bad comments, it kind of motivates them so that they become better. Then Rinpoche doesn't have to say things like this anymore. So it actually also, it was actually one of the ways to improve someone. So like I said, Rinpoche was very creative as to how to improve a person. I mean, as most people know, Rinpoche studied psychology, but that aside, Rinpoche himself was very aware. He was super aware. And Rinpoche was very intelligent, highly intelligent. So immediately Rinpoche could, even for a person that Rinpoche first time, for a person that Rinpoche met for the first time, after talking to that person, Rinpoche immediately knew what's going on with that person's life, or how that person is, or what that person needs, which is most of the time how Rinpoche help people. Because Rinpoche immediately could sniff out what that person needs the most, and Rinpoche will help that person. And usually during that period, that person might not realize it, but after that they will slowly come to realization that, oh, this is how Rinpoche helped me.
Yeah.
So this is usually how Rinpoche. I mean, I've been with Rinpoche for so many years. So this was one of the ways of how Rinpoche reached out to people. Yeah.
Okay, maybe. So this one, for those coming late. So we have Abby.
Hi, Abby.
So this will be our last episode of Lunch Together-gether. You will see us again, and because we will restart our spiritual Saturday program in 1 or 2 weeks time.
It's a physical one.
So welcome to KFR. Welcome to join our program. Okay, bye bye.
Bye.